Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another bright day. Today we're going to talk about step number 3. It's called trust. Particularly trust his love. Don't let your insecurities be in the driver's seat of your life. So I'm briefly going to tell you a hack to this step. So the hack to trust his love is to see the gift of learning, which in and of itself is a whole other training. It's actually level 2 of step 1, acknowledgement. The reason I want to tell you about it today is because seeing the gift of learning, it has a lot to do with trust. But it's more trust in general in life, in the universe, more than it is trust in his love. And seeing the gift of learning is mostly about seeing things differently. But once you learn the hack of actually seeing the gift of learning in everything that pisses you off about your partner, it frees you up from seeing evidence that he doesn't love you. Trust his love is all about when insecurity is driving your life and insecurity takes over, you keep finding evidence that he doesn't love you. You become desperate for proof that he loves you. But once you see the gift of learning in everything in front of you, in your partner, in challenges in life, particularly in the things that trigger you in life and in your partner, then it becomes easier to trust in general and to trust his love. So that's why it's an important hack. And it's also about seeing things from another perspective. Once you're able to do that, step number 3 becomes a lot easier. To begin with, where you are in the journey, if this is your first practice in trusting his love, it is worthwhile to just consider this, seeing the gift of learning. Just take a moment and take a breath and just think about this. Trust is about trusting that there is a higher purpose. Some people call it God, Buddha, the universe, but that's trust. That's what it is. That the universe has a plan, or there is a meaning behind the madness, and there's a reason this person was put in front of you exactly the way they are. Now, it may seem like a joke. So I just practiced Feng Shui, and I cleaned up my entire life with many things. One of them was cleaning up, literally, like Feng Shui. That had a huge effect on my life. So I look at that as a tool. I also wrote down, said out loud a prayer for 1 year. I also exercised. I also stopped doing a lot of destructive patterns. But cleaning up was a big part of it. Like, stuff happened when I practiced Feng Shui. And then I met my husband, who has his own relationship with mess. That is his, then that is huge. So there's no coincidence in that. And I often looked up and said, God, you gotta be kidding me. Is this a joke? And sometimes things can feel like it's a joke, the challenge in front of you or the trade in your partner. Either it's a trade in them or it's something you tend to see in them because it reminds you of you. Either way, there's something there to learn. And just think about that. That's a fact. That when you have trust in your life and you trust that there's a reason, like Wayne Dyer talks about it, there's a time for suffering. I mean, you can see it while you're suffering, but if you come to a level of understanding that there's a time for everything and that you are moving in the right direction, that level of trust just makes everything lead much easier, okay? So just bear that in mind. Okay, so trust his love. How do we trust his love and why is it important? Trusting his love is, the end of the day, what it's all about. So you get into insecurity and you ride that wave out, or you crash and burn into something, some self-destructive actions, as insecurities always tend to do. They drive us off a cliff. And you make the choice, you fail and recommit, and you get up on the horse again. But along that process, something inside you trusts his love. You have to come to that conclusion. In the process of all the madness, you have to trust his love. It is the easiest and fastest way to get back up on the saddle and choose love and make love instead of war. and it is something inside of you. It has nothing to do with the outside world. So my favorite Kung Fu quote, Kung Fu Panda quote, or my favorite quote in the world, comes from Kung Fu Panda. And it is, yesterday is history, the future is mystery, now is a gift. That's why they call it the present. So this is from Kung Fu Panda, the cartoon movie. Isn't that awesome? You'll never, ever know what's going to happen in the future, so there is no need to worry about it. It is a matter of trust. It is a choice that you make. It is a belief that you have. And it's okay to be insecure and distrust, but you have to come back and trust that he loves you. Listen, ladies, you need to hear this once in a while. Your man loves you. He's a good man. That's why you chose him. And he is, because I know you're like me, and your man is like my man, or your partner, if it's a woman or whatever. You love that person, and they love you. You're not in some self-destructive, abusive relationship, even though it can seem like it sometimes. You have a good man, and he loves you. He might be scared of you sometimes. There might be a million things going on his side of the table, but he loves you. Like, you chose a good man. I know that because I did. So he loves you, right? He does. He's afraid of you, and he doesn't know how, maybe, and you don't know how. That's another thing. But he loves you, and you have a good man. You have to stop and realize that as often as possible. You have to draw that conclusion, okay? You have to find the trust in yourself that you chose a good man, and you have to trust in the universe, God, whatever, that there's a reason he's in front of you. It's to teach you something. I can't tell you how to trust his love, but I can tell you that your life is so much better once you realize when insecurity is tapping you on the shoulder and wants to ride along, and when insecurity takes the steering wheel and drives you off a cliff. That will happen. But what you can do is to stop and trust, and then just move insecurity over and sit down behind the wheel of your car and drive it. So insecurity is going to be there and pop up and show its nasty face from time to time. That's just the way it is, and that's the way you work. And things on the outside, symbols, are going to represent that insecurity, and they're going to come popping up. Like beer cans on the table used to be mine, and mess and things. But now I am well aware that that has nothing to do with anything inside of me, and they don't trigger me at all anymore. I can still have insecurities, but I'm in a really different place right now. My insecurities, the way they were, was I'm not insecure about his love, and I'm not insecure about that I love him. I don't doubt that we're the love of each other's life. My insecurity was, can I live with this guy on a practical level? And that tapped down into insecurity and more inside of me. Am I lovable and all of that? But once you're able to just remove yourself from that, you won't look at the symbols of your insecurities and freak out completely. You understand that there are different things. It's all about trusting his love and stop finding evidence that he doesn't love you. When you do that, just be aware of what you're doing. It's a temporary insanity. So step number 3 is, when you feel unloved, when you feel he's hurting you, when you're finding evidence, know that it's you who's finding the evidence. He's being the way he's always been. He's no different. The only variable is the insecurity inside of you. That's what's changing. So this is a good thing to remember. Does the mess or other triggers or other things that usually trigger you and send you off, does that affect you when you've just had great sex? And with that, I also mean great connection and great love. It's usually just fastest and easiest, most effective when you've had great sex. You don't care about the mess. So just think about that. That is proof to you that insecurity happens inside of you and is a variable in you, not in the outside world. So there's nothing he's doing really that's triggering your insecurity. Well, it is triggering it, but it has everything to do with you and not him. So you're the one that makes the decision to trust him. The only way to get back in the driver's seat of your life is to trust his love and to just trust. Okay? So insecurity, will always be there, and that's fine. Just notice when it's driving your life and your tendency to find evidence. You won't find evidence that he doesn't love you unless you're feeling insecure, unless you caught him with another woman or another man or whatever, or unless something like really did prove something to you. And even then, you don't know the whole story. So we make stories and we look for evidence based on how we're feeling. So I'd say the way to trust his love is the fact that you have no other choice. You have the choice to trust his love. That's it. You have the power. So if you choose to trust his love, your whole world and outlook would be different than it is right now. That's how you change. That's why when you're stuck in a pity party, it's so heavy that you have to ride it out once it starts. You have no trust. But before you throw a pity party, you have the ability to choose to trust his love. No one knows what's going to happen in the future. The only thing you can do is choose to trust his love. So here is when step 3 becomes relevant. When you find evidence that he doesn't love you, when you make excuses in your head, when you start piling up the excuses for bad behavior. He doesn't love me. I can be mad at him. He never takes me out for dinner. He never cleans up. He doesn't care about me. I do this and this and this. I make love with him. I use his love language. He does never ever speak my love language. All of that is insecurities that pop up. And when you start making stories to justify the insecure feeling that you have, like no other woman could live like this, like justifying that you're crying, or justifying that you're mad at him, justifying that you're screaming, lashing out, justifying the state that you're in, which is not serving you. When you start do that, that's when insecurity is driving your life. So the way to smack down insecurity is to tell yourself another story. You always have the choice. This story is more true than the other story, that he doesn't love you. So this story, he loves you, ladies. He's with you. You're married. You're committed. You're almost married. You have kids. He loves you. He's there for you. There is no doubt he loves you. Tell yourself that story. And that's all that matters. Because you know, end of the day, all you want is love. Once you've gotten love, you don't care about the mess. You don't care about the thousands of or hundreds of other things on the list that to you, when you're insecure, seems like evidence he doesn't love you. All that evidence is bullshit. As soon as you get love, doesn't matter. So that tells you that all you want is love. And if he loves you, which he does, and when you trust his love, nothing else really matters. You're only going to drive a wedge between you. You're only going to drive him further away when insecurity is driving your life. You're only going to make a cliff and distance between you, not connecting. But you can connect as soon as you trust his love. You can connect with him. You don't even have to be with him physically to connect. When you trust his love, you're in connection. So try to think of it as trust in general also, because once you trust, things start happening and opening up. Nothing good comes from desperation and insecurity. Nothing. It is fast-track action, temporary, short-term solutions, and short-term strategies. When it's insecurities, it's not even a strategy. It's just short-term stuff, insecurity and desperation. It's just because we feel trapped. And why do we feel trapped? Due to the stories we tell ourselves inside our head. Since you're the one telling yourself the stories that make you insecure, you're the one who can tell the story that makes you secure again. And the only way to beat insecurity and stop it is to trust his love. Don't let insecurity be in the driver's seat of your life. Don't do things out of desperation or insecurity. Like, there's really not a whole lot to say about it, because end of the day, it's a step you have to take. Step number 1, you acknowledge the problem, the elephant in the room. Shit, I'm blaming my husband all the time. Shit, I'm angry all the time. I'm addicted to anger. I always turn to anger. Shit, what the fuck is going on? I have a problem. I'm an angry wife. I don't want to be that way. So acknowledgement. And step number 2, accept and surrender. Stop trying to fix things. Put yourself in neutral. and realize you don't have to change anything on the outside. It's all on the inside. And step number 3, trust his love. Like, say yes to love. It's not even about him. It's about you and trusting love. So scrap the his, just trust love. Or scrap his love, just trust. Have faith, and good things will come, because we find evidence. What we look for, we see. So when you look for evidence that you have a crappy life, all you see is that you have a crappy life. Like Henry Ford said, yeah, if you say you can't or you say you can, either way you're right. You have a crappy life or you have a great life. If you say either, you're right. Okay? So what you see is what you get. And if you keep looking for evidence, you'll find it. But the only reason you're looking for evidence in the first place is because you're insecure. And it's okay to be insecure. Just know that that's why. And we're insecure because of all the shit that happened to us in our childhood, and all the beliefs and all the things and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. All of that. That's why. It has nothing to do with him. So get him off the hook. He has his own shit and his childhood. So when we're insecure, it's something inside of us. It's our limiting beliefs that we had way before we even met him. It has nothing to do with him. To get that fact straight in your head, it has nothing to do with him. We have enough trauma, limiting beliefs, all these things. We all have them, and we had them before we met our partner. He does or says things that all of a sudden triggers that inside of us. But know this, it doesn't always trigger it, because it's variable to how you feel. It doesn't trigger it after great sex and great connection. You don't care about the mess. All you want is love at the end of the day. And he loves you. That's the only thing you know for sure, is that he loves you. You wouldn't be with him if not. That is the basis and the foundation. And that is the only thing that you need to trust. Okay, that's it for now, ladies. I don't have anything else to say about this, because it is really up to you. Okay? Trust is love.